When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's group therapy on 99.7 DJX.
Beth says, hey, Ben and Kelly, I don't know why I thought to message you all, but I guess I don't have a lot of people in my world.
Okay.
Today, something so embarrassing happened to me. I was mistaken for a man. Don't know why, but this stung. I was out with my husband shopping, and a guy said, excuse me, gentlemen. I looked up, and he was like, sorry. It was awkward. I was sad all day about it. I'm taller. I've gained some weight. I dress like a lot of people in hoodies and jeans, but I didn't think I looked like a man. I cried on the way home. My husband didn't really do anything to comfort me. He simply said, well, you are tall. Ugh. I just wanted him to tell me that guy was crazy, that you're beautiful, anything that would make me feel better, but he didn't. And I don't know what to do. First of all, I don't want to change, but should I take this as a cue to start dressing more feminine? Is my husband not into me physically? I have so many thoughts running through my head. I'm just really sad right now. If anybody has any advice, I may be overreacting, but it doesn't feel like it. Thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, I guess that's tough when you are kind of leaning towards your husband or your partner for support, to have your back when something like that happens. And
he doesn't quite realize how that stung.
Right, exactly. And so I don't know. Is it as easy to just kind of go back and say, hey, I know it's been a couple days, but when
that really is still with me and I'm upset.
Yeah, when that person said this to me and it stung, but then when you didn't say anything else, it just, I'm in my head. So like, convince me that this isn't a bigger deal. Almost like put it in your husband's court where it's like, okay, show me, prove to me whatever that I should be not as concerned as I am about this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the only person she should really be concerned with is what her husband thinks. And she's starting to doubt that because I guess he hasn't made her feel like she's beautiful to him. And so I think maybe she needs to communicate to him. She needs to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is an anecdote that fits, but when I was growing up and people would call the house phone, back when house phones were a thing.
Uh-huh.
And I'd answer and they would go, oh, hi, Kathy, thinking Kathy was my mom. Thinking that I was my mom because my voice hadn't dropped yet. And I was,
bless your heart.
I know. Like, no!
Yeah.
I'm not her! I'll get her!
Yes.
Mom!
No. Yeah. No, I get it. Oh,
so,
dang it. But this is, I mean, somebody looked at her and this is, I feel like, a little bit different.
Yeah, that's kind of a
women. Yeah, we all want to feel attractive
for sure.
And I think it can feel like a sucker punch if someone feels like that, you don't look as feminine as maybe you thought you looked.
Yeah, for sure. So is it as simple as just going back to the husband and saying, hey, this is how I felt and how I feel still?
I think she just needs some reassurance from her husband. Yeah, that he still finds her beautiful. Right.
So I guess let's give her the words to say that. 502-795-1997. And then I don't know if you have any other story about something similar happening to you, just so Beth knows that she's not alone here. Right. But yeah, 502-795-1997 is our number. So Beth out with her husband. Someone mistook her for a man. And now she's kind of bummed, partly because of that, and partly because her husband didn't give her any response other than, well, you are tall.
Yeah. In that moment, she needed him to say, babe, you're beautiful. I love you. Don't let that guy bother you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And look, I when there are those moments where you can either stick up for someone or just like not or whatever, maybe you don't know that is happening in the time, but going back, I bet your husband I don't know. I don't know your husband. Maybe he just completely forgot it and it was a non-issue because it just moved on. But my point is, I remember like years and years and years ago when we were DJing this this bar, right? And it wasn't here in Louisville; it was in Indiana. But I was there and on stage, DJing, and my wife was she was my girlfriend at the time, was up kind of on the stage with me, just kind of sitting off to the side. And I remember the club. It was a hotel bar, right? And so the manager comes out and was like, "Hey, she can't be up on the stage," and was like really kind of nasty about it. And I just kind of like looked back at my wife and I just kind of shrugged, and my wife got down and I could tell that she was upset and bothered by it. But like in the moment,
were there other girls up on the bar?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was just like a stage at a bar area, and it was just our equipment was up there, and that was it, right?
Okay, so it wasn't like she's not hot enough to be up there, like other girls can.
Oh no.
Okay,
it wasn't one of those things. But no, my point was, I didn't stick up for her then, and I could tell that it bothered her throughout the night, because that was near the beginning of the evening. We had like a 4-hour gig or a 3-hour gig, and so
she's like, "Oh, I can't really hang out with you."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm just kind of like, I don't know very many people here, and so my point is, you should say that to him. You should say that you feel bad, because there is going to be another time when he's going to have the opportunity to rise above and be the good partner, say the right thing, and be in your corner.
That's what Lisa is saying on text. First of all, some men are just clueless to anything a woman feels. Walk them through it. That's probably the only chance you have to get it through to him. If he still doesn't get it, then tell him you're perfectly happy walking around letting everybody think you're the hot new gay couple. All right. That's good. That's a good sense of humor. That'll get the point across, right? And Jessica says, honestly, I would definitely confront your husband, but don't ever change the way you dress. If a man does that again, I would just turn around and be like, but I can take your wife.
Yeah. Aaron on Facebook said, when I waited tables years ago, I approached my table once with a "Good afternoon, ladies." And when they both looked up, one was a guy.
Oh, gosh.
I was mortified. Just responded with, "I'm so sorry, but your hair is gorgeous." We all laughed it off, but I'm sure that guy was just as humiliated as you are in the moment. I definitely wouldn't take it personally. If you're feeling insecure about your appearance, then make a change for you. Don't worry about what others think. Life is too short to be anything but happy and comfortable. Love yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, but Heather says the same thing. People are ignorant. She doesn't need to pay attention. Idiots. I get called a guy all the time because of the short hair, even though I have bazookas that are so big they hid my pregnancy the whole time. People are not observant. Also, the husband's a jerk.
Yeah. I wouldn't start changing for that reason. Like, don't start.
She's not going to. Yeah, she said she's not going to.
Right. And well, I mean, but she did ask, should I start dressing more feminine? Like, I don't want to change, but should I start dressing more feminine? I think you just need to be you, and just let your husband know that this is how it affected you.
Yeah, do what makes you feel confident. And that's really what it comes down to.
All right.
Is, do you feel good about yourself? Does your husband find you attractive? Those are the two things I think that should matter the most.
Yeah, and so next time your husband can stick up for you and say the right things, because if you don't tell him that he didn't say the right thing in that moment, he's not going to learn.
Yeah. And then on Facebook, Kelsey says, this really hurt my heart. I'm a makeup artist. If you see this comment and you're comfortable enough messaging me, I would love to give you a makeover totally free.
Aww.
Not saying you need to,
right,
or you have to for that man or your husband or for anybody else, but if you wanted it for yourself to lift your spirits and spice things up, I'd love to do that for you.
Oh, that's great.
That's really
great.
Sweet.
All right. There you go. Keep us posted. Beth, thanks for reaching out. That's group therapy.